Hello, in this section, we will be talking about writing the introduction section. So, in this section, we will be looking at how we could use AI to help us with writing the introduction. The components of the introduction is basically to look at what was the purpose for doing this research, the questions, the research question, and the aims. And it also would look at the gap in the knowledge or relevant literature review would be necessary. So here is where we can use the various AI platforms that are available, which we'll go through that, and how we could use that to extract that kind of data from the literature to help us write the introduction. We will learn how to use ChatGPT, which is a generative AI, on how we could use this technology to remove the heavy lifting of writing. And it's very important. You will also learn how to validate the responses from the various AI platforms. So, so the purpose of the introduction is to engage and to uh, gain the attention of your readers. And this is very important. Editors and journals are always looking at the introduction to see why should they bother accepting this. A background information is very important. You need to make sure that you have the relevant context and an overview of the literature. A problem statement should be crafted carefully within the introduction so as the people will know what is the problem you're trying to address, and you then need to present the main argument or that you are trying to address in this research. So the purpose and scope of the research would also be a significant component of this uh, part of the research. So what are the AI tools that are available? Here, I'll just run through a list of them, and we will be using each one of these tools as we uh, progress during the workshop. Elicit is a nice AI tool to conduct literature search, mainly focusing on healthcare, but you try to use it for other areas also. By putting a question, it will gather the data for you. Scholarly and Typeset, the two other platforms, are very useful to help us analyze papers or PDF documents, to ask questions and be able to extract the data that we want from those papers without having to go through it manually reading those single papers. Now, Genie.io is a good, excellent platform for summarization, and it can be able to look through all your documents pertaining to a particular project and analyze the data and extract data for you. And then how we could use the chat GPT with the information that we've already used in the process of extracting data through the various prompts. ChatGPT can generate a very good set of keywords, meta tags that are usually required in publication. Now, this is a very important part of your publication because keywords are the words through which people are going to be able to search and find your articles. End of the day, you want your article to be cited because of the importance of the research. Then we will go through the validation process. Now, one of the big problems, especially with the earlier generations of generative AI, is the validity of the response. So it's part of your academic exercise, and everything that you make a statement within your paper, you have to validate it. And here you need to know how to validate each and every response from your generative AI as you use them in your paper writing. And so the cross-reference and the reliability of the resource of the sources has to be validated, and you need to have a consistency, a logical consistency in your writing. And this is where, if you're not in that area, if you're not a subject matter expert, you will be fooled by the outputs from AI. And so you need to also consider the social and ethical implications of your writing as it is being assisted by AI. Remember, the AI is not writing the paper for you. The AI is doing the heavy lifting of drafting based on your input. So you need to iterate and clarify the steps that were taken, and you must maintain that in the event that you are audited to see how you got this work done. And you need to check the factual accuracy of every response, and you must ensure that you have read what has been generated, paraphrased it, and given that human oversight. So what we will do is we will demonstrate how to do prompting in ChatGPT. We will use the various techniques and questions and how we craft these prompts to get appropriate responses. And here's an example of a prompt. We will go through this in the workshop or using your own subject matter based on your data collected. So in the practical exercise, we will try to play with these various platforms and use it with your paper that you have conceptualized and collected data on, and with that, create a draft and share that draft with other members of the workshop so that we can all learn from each other. And finally, we would be encouraging you to put up your production or your draft for feedback and peer review so that we can learn from each other and work towards uh, applying the skills in our academic pursuits.